Hi everyone and welcome to Smart Culture Education. This is the place where we make learning simple, clear and engaging. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you can join us on this journey of mastering maths, science and more.
Let's revise the formulas used to calculate volume. Let's look at the formulas for a prism. The volume is area of the cross-section, that's A, times the length L. A pyramid uses V equals a third times A times H, where A is the base area and H is the height. For a cylinder, the volume is V equals pi r squared times H, and for a cone, we again use the 1/3 rule. V is equal to a third times pi times r squared times H. And then lastly, for a sphere, the formula is 4/3 pi r cubed. These formulas will be given on a formula sheet, but please practice to apply them correctly. Let's try the first example. In this sketch, we need to calculate the volume of a compound prism. And if you look at the prism, you can see that it's basically a solid made up of two rectangular prisms that are joined together. So if we need to calculate the volume, we need to determine the area of the base, and then we are going to multiply it by the length of the prism. So the base of this prism is basically two rectangles, rectangle A and rectangle B. And we are going to determine the areas of these rectangles, add them, and then it gives us the area of the base. So the area of the base is the area of rectangle A plus the area of rectangle B. Now let's look at rectangle A. What is the length and the breadth of rectangle A? The breadth will be 2 centimeters and the length 5 centimeters. Therefore, the area of rectangle A will be 5 times 2. Let's look at rectangle B. The length of rectangle B is 5 and the breadth is 1 centimeter. So the area of rectangle B will be 5 times 1. We then combine these two areas, 5 times 2 and 5 times 1. That is 10 plus 5, and then the total area of the base is 15 square centimeters. And now we can determine the volume. The volume we said is area times length. The length is 5 centimeters. And we multiply it by the area, 15, and that gives us that the total volume of this compound prism is 75 centimeters cubed. Now let's move on to a more interesting prism, one shaped like a house. The front face of this prism has two parts, a triangle at the top and a rectangle at the bottom. So if we want to calculate the volume of this prism, we are going to calculate the area of the triangle and the area of the rectangle and add these two areas. So let's look at the triangle at the top. The area of a triangle has the formula half times base times perpendicular height. The perpendicular height is this section over here, and this length will be the 12, that's the height of the whole prism, minus 7, and that's the height of the rectangular prism at the bottom. So the perpendicular height is then 5, and the base has length 5 as well. The area of this triangle is then half times 5 times 5. And then if we look at the rectangle at the bottom, the area of the rectangle is length times breadth, and that is 5 times 7. So the total area is then half times 5 times 5 plus 5 times 7. That is 12.5 plus 35. So the total area is then 47.5 centimeters squared. And now we can calculate the volume. The volume will be the area of the base multiplied by the length, and in this case the length is 8, so we take 47.5 and we multiply it by 8, and that gives us a volume of 380 centimeters cubed. In this example, we want to find the volume of a material used to make a hollow hemispherical bowl, and we are given the outer and inner radii, 5.5 centimeters and 5 centimeters. Now, to calculate the volume of the bowl, we need to calculate the volume of the inner and the outer hemisphere, or like I've labeled them here, the volume of the big hemisphere minus the volume of the smaller hemisphere. To do this, we use the formula for a hemisphere. The volume is half times 4/3 pi r cubed. So it's basically just the volume of a sphere multiplied by a half. So we calculate the volume of the big hemisphere using r equals 5.5 and the volume of the smaller hemisphere using r equals 5. So we put that into the equation and then we simplify the brackets first and then we subtract. And the answer is 27 and 7/12 pi centimeters cubed. And please remember, leave your answer in terms of pi unless told otherwise.
Thank you for watching today's video on Smart Culture Education. If you found it helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to stay updated, tap the notification bell so you never miss our next lesson. See you in the next video.